Welcome to another edition of Rise and Shine. Today we're talking about modern monetary theory. This is the theory that some of our elected officials want us to go toward, and it's going to be America like we've never known it. We're going to pause for a brief break. We'll be right back to jump into this important subject matter. Are you being exploited? TV portraying unrealistic personal relationships? Do you feel you were promised $1 million after your car smash? There are community leaders to discuss respectful and healthy personal relationships. Now, I can refer you to professionals outside my expertise. If you are injured after a car smash, make that one call to me, Dr. James Gordon, D.C., at 2172 St. Stephen's Road. That's 476-PAIN. The choice is yours.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
Princess Creative Productions can provide affordable and professional video services for small to mid-sized businesses. Our in-studio virtual set shoots start as low as $200. Let our expert get to work on your next video project. Call 251-421-4490 to book your next shoot.
Thank you, Alabama Seafood Association, for donating to the Mobile community over 1 million pounds of fish since November 2008. GillNet Fishermen Feed America. Heard out their car crash? One call to me, Dr. James Gordon, D.C. at 476-PAIN. The choice is yours.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
Welcome back. Brother Hassi, would you please take us into a word of prayer?
Yes, I will. With the name of God, the merciful benefactor, merciful redeemer, thee alone do we serve, thee alone do we beseech for age. Show us the straight way, the way of those whom thou hast bestowed thy grace, those whose portion is not wrath, and who go not astray. Amen.
Amen. So, Brother Hassi, when it's modern monetary theory, what most Americans don't know is macroeconomics and microeconomics. Microeconomics, I would suspect, is like a household budget, whereas macroeconomics is what typically countries would use, or sometimes many forms of government would use. And it's not quite the same, so it's a little bit harder to understand. But if you look at the framework of it, the Keynesian economic theory is what America has been using for like the last 100 or so years, maybe since our inception. The Keynesian theory says through taxes or what they charge folks at the border for bringing in goods, tariffs. Through tariffs and taxes, we raise money to run our government, and the government tries to budget well within the money that they raise through tariffs and taxes and government fees. Taxes for personal taxes didn't come about until I think World War I thereabouts as a temporary tax to pay for the war. And we know how that went. So the modern monetary theory says, don't worry about the budget. It says if you are a country that prints your own money, such as about 5 or 6 countries around the world, then just print more money and spend.
You know, Doc, we talk about the government, but I like to look at cause and effect, as you know. And when I look at government comes out of family. And when we look at the family, because these same things can be applied to family in how we budget.
Yes, sir.
And they have this thing that's called bankruptcy and Chapter 13 and that. And it's really amazing me being in the tax business and the accounting business there, how so many young people are having to file bankruptcy. And it's not that they're taking that they got a lot of businesses that they're in that they need to file bankruptcy, but they're filing bankruptcy over a car. Yeah. And it's because the consideration that they need to give before they bought the car wasn't done. For example, I've had clients that have went out, and this is no reflection on good car dealers and all. I'm just using this as one example because it happened in all areas, even with applying for a credit card. I've never seen it where you got to have good credit to get a credit card, and then they want to charge you 26 to 31% interest on the credit card. Now that to me doesn't make any sense. But if you get a person who's not thinking, just to get the credit card is good, but once they get entangled in what we call a web, once they get entangled into that web, then it takes almost an act of God to get you out of that. Yes. Because it's a miracle if you do. Because now you're paying more money on interest than you're paying on the principal, and you can have a little $10,000 worth of credit that it takes you 30 years to pay for.
Right. If you don't get ahead of that minimum. But on the theory though, the modern monetary theory, we need to make ourselves aware of this, because what this is going to do is going to affect America for the next 50 to 100 years. The theory says, the folks in Washington who are pushing this theory says everybody get a government job, they can't get a private job. So it doesn't work welfare. You get everybody a job, and once the private sector is able to hire you, then the government job will go away. But the main problem with this theory is it wants to look at money as if it's a monopoly money. It wants to just create money, create money, create money. So if they pass a $3 trillion budget, and our gross domestic product is only, say, $6 trillion, well, we can say we already owe $9 trillion, so they're going to say borrow $3 more trillion. Well, now we're at $12 trillion, so that's double our GDP as a nation. So don't worry about it. We can just print more money. What that's going to do is going to be devaluation. They're going to call it inflation to try to mimic what's really going on. But actually, let's take a quick break, and we're going to jump back into inflation versus devaluation when we come back after these important messages. Thank you, Alabama Seafood Association, for donating to the Mobile community over 1 million pounds of fish since November 2008. GillNet Fishermen Feed America. Heard out their car crash? One call to me, Dr. James Gordon, DC, at 476 Payne. The choice is yours.
Hey, I'm Mike Rope, here today to encourage you to connect with 811 before you dig.
And I'm Micro, and I'm here because I love to dig in the dirt.
It's true. He's also here because he's very small and not that bright. Here, for instance, we can see Micro doing what he loves to do.
And here we can see the consequences of not doing what he should have done.
Dude, why didn't you call 811?
I forgot the number.
See? Not that bright.
Princess Creative Productions can provide affordable and professional video services for small to mid-sized businesses. Our in-studio virtual set shoots start as low as $200. Let our expert get to work on your next video project. Call 251-421-4490 to book your next shoot.
Are you being exploited? TV portraying unrealistic personal relationships? Do you feel you were promised $1 million after your car smash? There are community leaders to discuss respectful and healthy personal relationships. Now I can refer you to professionals outside my expertise. If you are injured after a car smash, make that one call to me, Dr. James Gordon, DC, at 2172 St. Stephen's Road. That's 476-PAIN. The choice is yours.
All right, welcome back to Rise and Shine, where we're talking about modern monetary theory. Now, we've had some discussion on this, and we're trying to break it down so we can have a basis for the understanding that we're trying to portray here. And what we look at when we see government today, when we see our big government, we see, we call it Washington, D.C., because usually this is where all of these laws and things are made. And right now we see them debating over a budget. And as you were saying, Doc, earlier about the 100% employment versus maybe not 100%. Everybody work, even if you have to just work for the government. There,
100% employment.
Yeah, 100% employment. But and then we're talking about how the money itself works. And as far as inflation, whether it's deflation, and basically just one is just the opposite of the other. That the dollar bill is worth a certain amount today. Let's just use the example, which we know a dollar is not a dollar. That was a dollar in 1952,
or 1982,
1982, or 1992. So the dollar today is worth less because of deflation of the dollar than it was worth then. And as time go on, it may even be worth even less. And you and I have visited countries there where we've seen their monetary system compared to the U.S. money is worth a lot less than our money is.
Yes, sir.
For example, I think we had a bill here that where we visited the country of Benin.
And
Benin and Togo,
they got like 4 countries use that bill.
Right, they use this bill, and it's $1,000 bill. This is $1,000 bill.
We are rich.
And we are rich based on America's standards.
Yes.
But based on their standards, this is worth less than $2. This $1,000 is worth less than $2 American dollars.
We're not rich anymore.
So we're not rich. So, and this just shows you how $1,000. And reason we're using this example is because we can start looking at $1,000 of American money, United States money, and God we trust money, and it could very well get to be in the same situation.
Well, my theory is that if we go to modern monetary theory, it'd be sooner than later that a $20 bill would be worth about a $2 bill, what a $2 bill is today. So modern monetary theory, let's go back to the Keynesian theory. And the Keynesian theory, in the early years when America was started, we had the gold standard. Okay, so the gold standard went away under one of the presidents way back when, Eisenhower, one of those guys. But when the gold standard went away, it was the weight and the trust of the country that was backing our dollar. The reputation of America is what backs the American dollar. It's not under the gold standard anymore, even though we still have Fort Knox and some people still believe that we have the gold to back the money we have in circulation. That is not true. So the Keynesian theory, at least you had some kind of something standing behind it. You talk about cryptocurrency and the electronic currencies. Well, in the cryptocurrency market, what's backing it? Well, what's backing it, if you got Haseeb cryptocurrency, Haseeb is backing it. And if you got James cryptocurrency, James is backing it. And you say that sounds crazy that we should create our own cryptocurrency. Well, not so much, because the American government is talking about creating a cryptocurrency. I think one of the big companies like Amazon or someone is talking about creating their own cryptocurrency. There's over 10,000 cryptocurrencies in the market today. So we hear about Bitcoin, we hear about the Litecoins, the Dogecoin. There are coins that you hear about, but there are 10,000 1,000 cryptocurrencies out there, literally. So, but and they don't have no backing. There's no government standing behind them. There's no gold standing behind them. They just create them out of a process, and some of the process to create them is a little bit more time-consuming and more effort than others. But that's why the Bitcoin is seem to do so well. It started at $300 in 2015 thereabouts, and now it's well over $30,000 to $40,000 in 2021 for one coin. But all the coins are not going that way. And the reason Bitcoin is going well because people like Amazon said they may start accepting it. People like Tesla saying they may start accepting it to buy their cars. And when these guys endorse it, the stock goes way up. But I said all that to say, on this modern monetary theory, when we talk about inflation versus deflation versus devaluation, typically, Brother Hasib's an accountant. He does bookkeeping and accounting for many businesses. And businesses, he's looking at inflation and deflation. But devaluation, I feel, is why the $1,000 here is worth only $2 in American money, or less than $2, as Brother Hasib was saying. This franc here is legal tender today. If you go to many of the West African countries that use it, it's spendable. But if you have an American $20 bill and it's only worth $2, imagine what $2 will get you today, and imagine that in 5 or 10 years being your $20 bill. That's what it'll buy if we're not careful and if we devalue our currency. So that's my main fear about this modern monetary theory, Hasib. When you talk about devaluation versus inflation, what's the difference you see in those?
Well, when we look at the money, the process of money, it's only based on whether or not I do offer or sell you something that's got that value, whether it's $100, $1,000, or $100,000. Because even when we look, just take the automobile industry. Our parents talked about when they were able to buy a car, they could buy a car for $3,000.
Brand new.
And to me, I get sticker shock because I thought maybe you could buy the best car, for $30,000 or $40,000. That's the cheapest car nowadays.
Yes. Yeah.
And the cars that would be considered luxury type cars is running $80,000 and $100,000.
Even trucks.
Right, even trucks. So and people are able to pay them because of this system, but, and we think we're making more money, but when we take it back and weigh it, it may be less.
Maybe making less because our money's not worth as much.
Princess Creative Productions can provide affordable and professional video services for small to mid-sized businesses. Our in-studio virtuous set shoots start as low as $200. Let our expert get to work on your next video project. Call 251-421-4490 to book your next shoot.
Are you being exploited? TV portraying unrealistic personal relationships? Do you feel you were promised $1 million after your car smash? There are community leaders to discuss respectful and healthy personal relationships. Now I can refer you to professionals outside my expertise. If you are injured after a car smash, make that one call to me, Dr. James Gordon, DC, at 2172 St. Stephen's Road. That's 476-PAIN. The choice is yours.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
Hey, I'm Mike Rowe, here today to encourage you to connect with 811 before you dig.
And I'm Micro, and I'm here because I love to dig in the dirt.
It's true. He's also here because he's very small and not that bright. Here, for instance, we can see Micro doing what he loves to do.
And here we can see the consequences of not doing what he should have done.
Dude, why didn't you call 811?
I forgot the number.
See? Not that bright.
Much as it was.
Right, exactly.
Because, like I said, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, a luxury car was $25,000 to $30,000.
Mm-hmm.
Now the cheapest car is $20,000.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So, and what they do on the car, it used to be 4 years was an average car note.
Mm-hmm.
Now car notes go up to 8 years.
Exactly.
House notes was 30 years, 15 years. Now they're going to 40 years, 50 years.
Right.
A 50-year mortgage.
And you know, I look and ask myself, well, what is the purpose of money? You know, why do we have a monetary system? And you know, you could, if you go back and look at the olden days, as they say, they used to trade maybe apples for oranges, and maybe the apples was worth 3 apples to 2 oranges, and this, but it was complicated. So they came up with a monetary system that says, okay, for whatever the value is of that, we'll come up with a coin. Usually it was a gold coin, a silver coin that they had, that they said this coin is worth so much. Let's say this coin is worth $1. And whereas maybe I wanted to trade the apples and the oranges. Nah, I could do I could do one for $1 and one for 80 cents in that sense of the word. But the system itself, we can't take money as it should be the means, and I think we have taken it off the means that Doc, your work is worth so much to me. As this, and then my worth may be worth X amount of dollars, but we put too much faith in the dollar that now we have been fooled that we're not getting the value that we should be getting out of the dollar, and that's called deflation. But inflation, we see where a loaf of bread, I can remember when it was 25 cents. I can remember when a pack of cigarettes, using a pack of cigarettes, because was only 25 cents, and now it's over $5, $6, $7. They tell me a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah, I've seen.
So that's a lot of inflation, but we still got the same dollar that's saying the dollar bill on it.
And my accountant buddy keeps saying inflation, but I keep saying devaluation, because like you did mention, the silver dollar was a silver dollar because it was $1 worth of silver in 1900s, early 1900s, late 1800s. But now that same silver dollar, a Morgan silver dollar. Mm-hmm. Or the Walking Liberty, it's about $28.
28, yeah, dollars.
That one
same
coin.
silver coin that was $1 then, the value has went up, even though it's got $1 on it, to $28, $30. Yeah,
that's just for the silver content.
Right, exactly. And that's because money had more value. But now, what we are basing it on is the full faith of the government, which is supposed to be based on the faith that the people has got in it. So as long as the people got faith in it that it'll work, it'll work. But if the people lose faith, then it goes down.
And I guess what you were just explaining, that the devaluation of the currency has always been happening. It's just that when people feel like they're getting a raise to twice what they've been making, if the cost of goods is twice what you've been paying, then have you really gotten a raise?
Right, exactly.
So with that being said, Brother I.C., why don't you close us out? But that was
exactly.
So with that being said, Brother I.C., why don't you close us out? But this has been a very interesting subject matter. But I honestly think that we should read up on modern monetary theory, or MMT, just to be aware of where some are trying to pull the nation. Is it good for the nation? Is it bad for the nation? Time will tell. But modern monetary theory is different from Keynesian. It is totally a different way of running our government and running our country, and it's something that we need to be aware of.
All right, it's been great being with you for another show here, and we look forward to seeing you next week at the same time, same station. Rise and shine.
Thank you, Alabama Seafood Association, for donating to the Mobile community over 1 million pounds of fish since November 2008. Gillnet Fishermen's Feed America. Heard out their car crash? One call to me, Dr. James Gordon, D.C. at 476 Payne. The choice is yours.
Hey, I'm Mike Rowe, here today to encourage you to connect with 811 before you dig.
And I'm Micro, and I'm here because I love to dig in the dirt.
It's true. He's also here because he's very small and not that bright. Here, for instance, we can see Micro doing what he loves to do.
And here we can see the consequences of not doing what he should have done.
Dude, why didn't you call 811?
I forgot the number.
See? Not that bright.
Princess Creative Productions can provide affordable and professional video services for small to mid-sized businesses. Our in-studio virtual set shoots start as low as $200. Let our expert get to work on your next video project. Call 251-421-4490 to book your next shoot.
Are you being exploited? TV portraying unrealistic personal relationships? Do you feel you were promised $1 million after your car smash? There are community leaders to discuss respectful and healthy personal relationships. Now I can refer you to professionals outside my expertise. If you are injured after a car smash, make that one call to me, Dr. James Gordon, D.C. at 2172 St. Stephen's Road. That's 476 Payne. The choice is yours.